What's up, y'all? It's a new year. It's 2025, and we have some domestic retreats happening in the U.S. This is for my lady friends who know you want a little intentional getaway. IlluminationWellness.co has all of the information for Breathe Retreat 2025, happening the first weekend in May. We're going to the Indiana Dunes for a weekend, and then our 8th annual Camp Connected happening in September. We're going outside of St. Louis on this incredible private retreat. Both will be amazing, and I continue to do this work in these retreats because it helps me believe in the magic that exists inside of this reality. So reach out if you have questions. Registration is open at IlluminationWellness.co. What's up, y'all? Thank you for being here. We're going to get real today. So saddle up because I got to talk about this. Let's take a big breath in. And we'll let it go. I'm calling today Confessions of a Free Thinker. And as I was sweeping my living room, preparing for this, because Cairo's napping and, I squeeze all of the things into nap time. I was going to theme this Confessions of a Conspiracy Theorist, but there's just so much stigma around those two words, so I don't even want to use them. I'm going to use the words free thinker. And this is such a dynamic topic. Many things are fueling my desire to have this conversation here, including I joined a Facebook group that is all about educating behind the truths of the RhoGAM shot. RhoGAM is what negative blood type women receive when they're pregnant routinely. If you go through a pregnancy in the system, you really don't have a choice. You receive it twice. It's a blood product, and there's only been like one study done on it, and it was done on mostly men. In my pregnancy, in the science, there's a ton of science that needs to be studied around why they developed that product. And I understand why that they did. And I'm negative blood type, and I chose out of it for my pregnancies of receiving any interventions. And, Cairo's fine. I did not end up developing any sort of antibodies that would harm a future child of mine. So yeah, the whole negative blood type thing, that is a deep rabbit hole. If you're a friend of mine with negative blood type, let me know. I really love knowing who in my life is also negative blood type. But anywho, inside of this RhoGAM group, I just posted something along the lines of just being excited to be there and wanting to dive into the origins of negative blood type and how no one really knows where we originate from, how every living being on this planet has the Rh factor in their blood except for negative blood type humans. And it's cool. It's cool to explore and hear the different theories. And there were at least 40 women commenting on this post, like wanting to know more, sharing what they had heard, and it was fascinating. But then an admin saw what was going on and deleted my post and said that this was not the place to talk about conspiracy theories it continues to bring up so much in me because we are living in a time when free thinking and fostering a variety of theories and ideas and perspectives is just shut down. This system wants us clinging onto the information that we're fed through the medical system, the education system, through religion. This is the way it is. Believe this and don't worry about it. You don't need to ask questions because we're telling you this is how it is. Trust us. When the people at the very, 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 very top cannot be trusted. And that is so undeniably clear to me that sometimes it makes being here very hard. Being here in a world where I look around and I see so many people around me and people I love just following a narrative that is designed to do harm. But I also know how challenging this road of free thinking and how just full of shadow and darkness it can be, because you learn the true way in which it's all set up. Now, it's also extremely liberating, extremely freeing, and what gets cultivated is this inner resonance where you can feel the difference between what's actually true and not. And that is something that has been taken from the majority of humanity. And once you cultivate it within yourself, it's like you take the blinders off and you can see how and why things are unfolding in a way that not everybody is going to understand. And that's been my work as a free thinker, as somebody who, I think it started for me, and it's been layers of it throughout my life. But my questioning, questioning gets just shut down. Don't ask questions. Just let it be what it is. But I just started questioning when my grandmother, who I spent most of my childhood with, because my mom had a career, when she passed from cancer, very, too young, in my opinion. And I'm just like, why? Why did, what is this? And I just started through my own, I just asked why. That's the first start of a free thinker. You ask, why is this way? And sometimes you're given information that they want you to think is enough. And every single piece of information I could get, it wasn't enough. And then your mind gets open to the desire to start researching or learning more or cultivating resonance within yourself, right? So my approach, you will find free thinkers who can just spit off facts of alternative science and ways in which the mainstream is not telling you facts. And that's not my approach. I really do go off of resonance, but I also do intake information of my friends who do have access to alternative facts that are not inside of the mainstream. So it kind of is a combination. But throughout my life, and I know I'm not alone in this, which is why I'm having this conversation today, I've just kept asking why. Why is this way? Why am I this way? And again, especially a religion will want to hand you a rule book and tell you, well, this is why. Just follow this. Don't even worry about the rest of it. Don't worry about aliens or reptilians or the control matrix or how this is all a simulation or your dreams or the afterlife. Or no, just be a good little boy or girl and don't get in trouble by God, or else you're going to be forever condemned, or whatever the whole paradigm around that is. So I realized at a certain point in my early 20s that I was developing this way of seeing the world and myself that was not common. And yeah, I'm going to call it being a free thinker. And it caused me to start making decisions that were not a part of any mainstream viewpoint. It started when I went into a career in horse racing and learned about manifesting and going after my desires and going through tons of heartbreak and success and seeing and working alongside multimillionaires and private jets. And I just got insight on the workings of certain parts of this reality. And I kept questioning, and I kept making decisions to align with how I knew I actually wanted to feel. And that was oftentimes a harder path. It meant that I had to leave jobs and relationships and timelines, and it meant that I had to go out on a limb and start a business and learn and just keep learning. And that really is the path of a free thinker, when you decide that I don't want to be in a box. I don't want to be put inside of some timeline that's not my timeline. And then the stuff with the medical system just continued. I learned, medical doctors have close to no training in nutrition and emotions and mindset. I had to watch the person absolutely closest to me just perish in the hands of the medical system. Just all of her organs failing, everything from cancer. And I just kept asking, if we have so much money, if we're living in such an innovative time, why is there so much, why do all these kids have autism now? Why is obesity so high? Why is everybody so unhappy and unhealthy? But the Matrix doesn't want you worried about it. Just wants you to let the powers that be handle it. The powers that be are the ones siphoning off of the suffering. They're literally feeding off of it. And so a path of personal liberation is not the popular path. A path where you say, no, I'm going to do it a different way. I realized this free thinking path inside of my birth and motherhood, and it just continues, having a wild birth and choosing no interventions. And I don't recommend that for everyone, but I had spent, a decade honoring my body and learning and listening and cultivating this extremely healthy vessel. So I knew I was capable of growing and naturally birthing my child. I just knew it. But that took hours and hours and hours of inner work to get to that point. So it's not the easy path that the control matrix sells everyone and wants everyone to be addicted to. In fact, it's slow and painful and grueling, and it makes you constantly look at yourself, and it's exhausting, honestly. Sometimes I wish I could just put the blinders back on and, cower to the white coats and just believe everything that they're telling me to do. But I can't. And if you're on this path, you also know that it just becomes, you get to this point where it's just too liberating to be free. And so we keep going. And my hope in sharing this today is that you'll keep going, no matter where you are in your journey. That you'll just keep going, and you'll keep asking questions, and you'll keep freeing your own mind. We are activating new ways of seeing ourselves in this reality that is honestly very exciting, but it doesn't come without the growing pains of becoming a new human. I feel that so deeply in myself as I just sit with how dynamic this reality is. I got the email from Cairo school that he goes to a couple hours a week, and they want the vaccine updates and records, and we have I'm using the language now, a religious exemption, because we are naturalists, and we use the approach of natural immunity built from a natural lifestyle. So no interventions, anything like that. My son has been all over the world as a baby with no none of those shots, and he is extremely healthy and vibrant. And yet I still have to carry that story that they tell you, well, if you get our children sick, it's your fault. So if Cairo gives the kids at his school rubella, are these things even around anymore? Do we have any updated ways in which we could see it? No, what they're doing is they're just giving the children more and more shots. 28 vaccines by the time they're 2. Vaccines that are just filled with chemicals and heavy metals and side effects. Why do we have so much autism and autoimmune diseases and allergies and respiratory issues? It's just the way we're evolving, I guess. No, how about it's the way we're being cared for by the powers that be, by the system? We're not being cared for. We're being manipulated. And that is my honest belief, because I've seen it and I've felt it. And for the beings that I walk with, I just want all of us to know that it's okay if we get shut down. I remember when the pandemic started and I was questioning and asking and just saying, like, I'm sorry, I don't trust a brand new shot that has a DNA product in it. Doesn't feel safe, doesn't feel right. I got the scary virus, and because I have a healthy body, it was fine. But I know there is immune compromised beings, and I know that I also know I'm not just like, fuck the medical system, it's all terrible. There's amazing people inside of all of the systems. There's amazing people with great intentions. And there's incredible science. But the science that's fueling our entire matrix is science that's paid for by the tippy top people with all the money. And those are the people that are controlling all of it, that don't have the good intentions, that are siphoning and feeding off of everybody's disconnection to themselves. So, Confessions of a Free Thinker, Part 1 ends with just my continued invitation to be brave, to, even when we are afraid and we have moments where we're not sure if where we're going, just that we can know we're not alone. That's my intention today. Just know that you're not alone if you're on this path with me. I love you. Let's go get them. Take a big breath in and exhale.